Unless M&N Sports.
Don't wait until your garage door sounds like this. Easy Open Garage Doors here to help, whether you're in need of repair or a new opener, or maybe it's just time to replace the whole door. Make it easy and give Easy Open Garage Door a call, 770-DOOR.
The process of selecting a memorial to commemorate a loved one can be challenging. After all, it's not something you do often, and you may not have done it before. I'm Ryan Welly with the Fergus Falls Monument Company. We've been crafting memorials that matter for over 140 years right here locally. We've helped a lot of friends and neighbors over the years. Our extensive inventory accommodates diverse choices while keeping costs manageable, and that matters. Call or visit us online at fergusfallsmonument.com. Memorials that matter.
American Federal Bank in Fergus Falls is proud to support all area FFA students, including the Fergus Falls FFA chapter. Under advisors Melody Lundquist and Dennis Woodsky, it's 45 members strong. This year's president is Brooklyn Walden, vice president Hope Newlibe, treasurers Lydia Anderson, and reporter Abigail Tunkseth. American Federal Bank in Fergus Falls is proud to support all area FFA students. Your trusted advisors in agricultural, business, and personal banking. American Federal Bank, member FDIC.
I once booked a venue that was a logistical nightmare. Too far from the hotels and too hard to find. It made our entire event feel rushed and stressful. That's when I decided to try the Bigwood Event Center. Being right off the interstate and a hotel on site, it made travel easy for everyone. They took care of all the setup and cleanup, letting me focus on my presentation instead of the details. It made our event run so much smoother, and I'll never go back to the old ways. Meetings with impact begin at bigwoodeventcenter.com.
It's Morning Talk on News Talk 1250 KBRF, brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. Now, here's Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop.
Time to turn on the microphone.
I was checking my own buttons in here thinking I did something wrong, but it was on you.
With our video stream, I got so many buttons I have to push.
I have one.
And then I've got to make sure, I got to take a peek, make sure that the camera's on the right thing. So if you're there at the very beginning, you'll always notice I'm always looking off over here. It's because I've got a bank of monitors that I've got kind of twisted so you can actually see me.
I'm sure glad that you're in that chair and I'm in this one. I'm responsible for one button. So.
And then I've got the streaming laptop on the other side of everything. So I got to peek around everything, make sure that we're on, and then hit my good morning. And when I did that, I forgot to hit the microphone.
There you go.
Hence the nice little red thing right here. That's what that means. That means my mic's on.
All right. Well, I have spilled my first drips of coffee for the day, so that should be, coming on.
That's how you know you're ready for the day.
Right, when you spill the first drips of coffee.
Yep.
And that's why I always live by the rule, never wear anything that doesn't match what you're drinking.
So don't wear anything white.
So, so this is why there's a lot of black in my wardrobe, because there's a lot of coffee being spilled. I don't know how I do it, but I do. So anyway, okay, is this the last day of cold?
I'm hoping.
Tell me what's going to happen tonight and tomorrow.
Tonight it's going to warm up.
Like,
I don't know.
You don't know.
I got to move a monitor.
Never mind. You don't have to go to any extra work.
Let me move the monitor back to where it's normally at, where I can see. For everybody, this is what the normal view looks like.
I'm just so hopeful.
Two below.
Tonight.
Or two below for our high today. 16 below tonight. So then the magical 5 above tomorrow.
All right, we'll take
20 above Friday.
Okay.
32 Saturday. Sunday 39 and 40 on Monday.
That's all we need. One more day, folks. One more day, one more night.
One day more.
Cool. Yeah.
Get a little Les Mis in there.
But but the weekend.
Weekend, fabulous.
Okay. So finally, maybe you can get out and play in some of this snow. I wonder if with warming temperatures, will we expect any snow or really not any in the forecast, I don't think.
Nope, none of the forecast.
Okay, all right.
Mary, I've got normal policy that I never throw the kids under the bus on the show. But I'm gonna throw Adam under the bus.
You're gonna? Okay.
Derek's already laughing because he's heard this story before.
Okay. I can't wait. Usually it's the dog.
when you get to teenagers, especially teenage boys, they do not believe in coats. They have the hoodie.
Ugh,
So
I have a husband
I
still like
I,
that.
Adam, our youngest, he's 12. He's going to go out and do something outside, and he's just got his hoodie on. I'm like, Adam, where's your coat? And he goes, oh, it's in my school bag. I'm like,
Oh boy.
it's 20 below. Put on a coat.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, okay. So he puts on his coat and then does whatever he's going to do. And then comes back in and then complains that it is so cold that school should be 2 hours late or canceled. How can they make us go to school on a day like this?
How can they?
I'm like, you didn't even want to put on a coat.
I know. Crazy kids.
It's just like, it's not cold enough for a coat, but it's cold enough
Hey,
to cancel school.
I've got a husband that doesn't wear it. We were walking into a game last night, and what was it, like 22 below or
Oh, yeah.
something? And he's got a hooded sweatshirt on. I'm like, are you crazy? I've got a base layer of warm stuff. I've got, a big heavy sweatshirt, a vest, and then I've got my big jacket. And I'm not cold when I go out from the game. But he maintains, well, it's not very far. It's a short walk, and I can start my car. So whatever. I couldn't do it. Sometimes even at the basketball games, I'm so cold I have to have my jacket on.
Derek and I are both rocking the Leighton Media
I
Carhartt
know
hoodies that are phenomenal.
They are the best.
They are the warmest.
I call it my new uniform.
Oh, yeah.
That is what that's my go-to when I get home. Just because it doesn't work for me to wear a hoodie every
Yeah.
day, all day. But it is the best. Okay, so you got to put that on camera. Are you on?
Not yet.
Okay. You do. It's the best. It's got this zip up collar
Yeah.
inside the hood. So
It is
it's
so
the
nice
best.
and
Are
warm.
people looking at you now?
Yeah, they're looking at me
Okay.
and going, wow, why do we watch this?
It is just the greatest sweatshirt though.
is.
And it's super heavy, and
Oh, yeah,
mine
it's
is kind of big, which I love. And I can, wear it with a pair of leggings or something, and it kind of goes down to about my mid thigh. I just love it.
I had to laugh because when we got these, the morning that they handed these out, everybody put them on, and then everybody immediately took them off because it was hot. And so somebody, I won't name names, but was like, why isn't anybody wearing their hoodie? And it's like, well, because we're roasting.
Right.
But on cold days like this,
Oh
it
my
is
gosh,
perfect.
it's the best. Like
Oh.
I said, it is my go-to uniform when I get home.
During the
That's-
winter,
Oh,
yeah.
and on weekends, I
Oh,
live
yeah.
in that thing. Yeah, it's the greatest sweatshirt for sure. And doesn't everybody have a favorite sweatshirt?
Everybody's got a favorite sweatshirt.
Yeah.
I would admit this for sweatshirts, this has got to be mine.
Well,
I mean, it is so comfortable.
It is so comfortable, and it's so warm. It's
Yeah.
just great for this time of year. Well, today we're gonna do this on the first half of the show because we've got the roadie crew is coming
Yes,
in
we
to
do.
talk about their scholarship opportunity, and so they'll be with us at 9:35 after the break. But we were going to talk a little bit about what do you think? What are your thoughts on all of these federal government cuts? Now, I have to say that I am one who was like, oh my goodness. There is a lot of fat in the U.S. government, and there's a lot of fat out there, in businesses and whatever. But we were reading and hearing about some really ridiculous things that
Yeah.
heaps of money were being spent on. And so I was like on that bandwagon saying, yes, cut, 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 cut. And I still think that. But are we cutting too much too quickly?
I think the super fat that is getting trimmed is getting a lot of the headlines and not some of the people that are going to get cut that have like actual jobs that they actually do things.
You and I talked about this yesterday, and you put it really well when you said every one of those cuts is actually a person.
Yes.
And that made me think, and as I mentioned yesterday on the show, I talked with somebody that I know very well and respect for the work that she does. I don't know exactly what her position is, but she works for the federal government, and it's in agriculture somewhere, or she does
Forestry, I think.
forestry. I think it is forestry. Anyway, the unfortunate thing is she took a good job about 2 years ago, but it was one of those jobs that was like a 2-year trial kind of thing. And I think most of those people got let go. So she would likely be one. I just talked to her the other day and she was kind of bummed out about it. Thankfully, she's at an age where she could take her retirement and go on and, you know, find a different job just for something to do. Because she, like me, I mean, she just is not ready to stop being with people and quit working, and she just wants to
Likes to
be
be
out there.
social, likes something
Loves
to
to
do.
be social, right? But anyway, after I talked to her, I thought, and then when you said every cut is a person, and I don't know, I think we have to take that into consideration. But what do you think? Are too many cuts being made too quickly, or was the fat so fat that it was easy with a broad stroke to just get rid of a whole bunch?
321-1926, 218-321-1926. Text us. We'll pass along your
Because,
thoughts.
yeah, is every department that they are cutting, I mean, is every position within that department just completely unnecessary? I kind of find that hard to believe.
Yeah,
Now, don't get me wrong.
there are a lot.
I am all for go, 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 cut, cut, cut. But it does have to make sense rather than just fulfilling a promise that he made
Yeah.
during the election.
Well, I think one of the things that kind of weirds a lot of media people out, and maybe some long-term politicians, is when Donald Trump says something on the campaign, he's going to try to do it.
Yeah.
He's actually going to do it. It's
And
not just lip service.
right, but don't you think that the real icing on this hate cake is Elon Musk?
No, I think Elon is he needs business leaders that have done things to help out. You can't just have career politicians going in there. I like the fact I guess I don't know how much power Musk actually has versus how much the media says he has.
That's a great point. Don't believe everything you see and read and hear unless you're listening here,
Yeah.
right?
So it's one of those things where, I mean, you need other perspectives and people who have run businesses. I'm
Yes.
tired of politicians
Yeah.
telling us,
Oh, I totally
I've
agree.
been in politics my entire life. I know how you need to run this business.
Oh,
No,
that
no, you
yeah,
don't.
right.
You
If
know how
you've
to
been
run
in
politics.
business your whole life,
Yeah, that's different.
then yeah, that's different.
And so I think there's a lot of it was Markley Van Camp and Robinson always calls them the legacy media. They're a little cheesed off that their guy got or their woman got trounced.
Trounced, not just
They did
beat.
everything they could to get her elected, and they lost big
Yeah.
time.
And you know what I find is really interesting? We hear it just about every day from some media person or some politician that Elon Musk was not an elected official. How does he have all this power? Well, we might say that Kamala Harris was never elected either.
Well, she was elected vice president.
Okay. All right. But she came, I mean, but in the presidential race, she was not elected to take that, I suppose, as vice president.
As
You
vice
did.
president.
But,
But there's
Anthony Fauci,
yeah,
did anyone
Fauci and some of these cabinet people,
did anyone elect him to do all the damage he did?
yeah.
Nobody cried out about that. And so it just is, it feels like it's the flip side of what we've done for the past 4 years.
Yeah. But I mean,
And this is the sourest of grapes
oh yeah.
ever. I've got some friends on Facebook who I'm just shocked at some of the things that they are posting. They are so bitter because of the outcome of this last election. It's hard for me to fathom that some of these people that I like
laugh it off
so much, and
well, I
I
know who
just-
my liberal friends are. I mean, I
well-
would not expect anything less
well,
from some
true.
of them.
But first of all, a couple of these people I had no idea were liberal.
Oh.
And they are not just liberal, they are like rabid liberal.
Oh yeah. I mean,
And
my liberal friends,
some of them
you know.
are even relatives. And I am just shocked at some of the scathing things that they are posting. These are nice, common sense, I thought, kind of people. And again, I certainly don't always agree with everything that's going on.
I always keep politics off Facebook.
Absolutely. Yes. It does you absolutely no good. It just stirs up venom
Yep.
from, like-minded people. That's really all it does. Because I do notice, too, that all of these really scathing posts, nobody who is even remotely conservative or with an ounce of common sense even takes the time to respond to it.
No.
It's all one-sided.
Oh, yeah.
It's the sourest of grapes.
The sourest of grapes in
I
an
have
echo
ever
chamber.
seen. Yeah. Oh, wow. It's bad. But anytime you post something like that, expect to get just slammed, especially if you are on the conservative side of things. Good luck with that. The thing is, when people make rabid kinds of posts like that, you will never, ever get them over to your way of thinking.
No.
And maybe that's okay. They get to think whatever they think. But the only thing that you are going to change
Is what
is-
opinion
is-
people have of you.
Yes, is their opinion of you. That is the only thing that you will change. So if you would like to remain friends, just stop it. But I've got a couple of friends I would like to say, oh my goodness, stop it. Don't. This is ridiculous. I like you less. And that's not the truth. But it does make me think, wow, I never, ever saw that coming from this person.
I was looking at it this way. Just remember, your feelings and how you feel. Just remember that there's just as many people that feel the exact opposite of you.
Absolutely. And we have to know that we are not necessarily the ones who are right.
Yeah.
Or
'Cause
correct. We
it's-
are right, but we're not everything that I think is
Yeah.
is perfect or right, I'm sure.
I do laugh a lot when I hear people from Minnesota complaining about the trifecta in Washington. I'm like, hello, last 2 years here in Minnesota.
Oh my goodness. Speaking of Minnesota, did you hear that Tina Smith is not going to run again?
I was a little surprised, and the thing that bothers me about that she's not running is between our two senators, Klobuchar and Smith.
Wow.
Smith will at least reach out
She
to
was the
us.
better of the two, that's for sure.
She would at least reach out to us, and we could interview her, and she'd come on the air with me, and I could interview her and talk to her. Klobuchar, you try to do an interview with her, it's like, oh, what's the issue yet? Yeah, no, I'm busy.
Yeah, no, I would agree. But now, whose phone is blowing up to go out there and run is Michelle Tafoya.
Really?
Yeah, okay. So Michelle Tafoya, she used to be a broadcaster,
Yeah,
right?
she used to be.
Sports broadcaster.
Yeah, she was on, I want to say, CC or KSTP in the cities, and then would do football games. And,
She was great.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's awesome. And she was one of the ones that was behind that documentary about Minneapolis.
Oh, the fall in Minneapolis?
Yes.
Yep.
And she is very, very outspoken with regard to what happened in Minneapolis. Anyway, I heard her interviewed just this morning, and she said once Tina Smith announced that she was not going to run, she said, my phone was absolutely blowing up with people both in and out of politics across the country encouraging her to run. And she said she needs to take a good hard look at how much she would be away from family, and she needs to take care of that first.
You want to know the nice thing about Michelle Tafoya? She's been in the media for a long time. I don't know her political stance. I don't know if she's Republican or Democrat.
I don't know, but based on what I have heard and her pushing of that documentary, I would say that she is not liberal.
But the nice thing about that is I don't know because she
Right.
hasn't forced me to know.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
she's
to me,
a great
that's a big thing.
broadcaster,
Oh, yeah,
and
great.
she understands the broadcast world.
Yep.
And she understands where you're supposed to step, and if you don't, what happens. I just think she's got a lot of experience in that regard, and I think she'd be great, but I guess we'll see. So, all right, well, that will take care of the news side of things today. We'll break for some market information. Got the roadie crew in to talk about their scholarship coming up next. So stay tuned to Morning Talk.
Back with more Morning Talk with Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop. Brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. After the markets on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Depend on it.
Tired of working with digital marketing agencies 1,000 miles away who don't get your community? At Leighton Engage, we keep it local. Real strategists, real people, right here. With a deep understanding of your community, we create campaigns that truly resonate. We pair you with a dedicated local strategist who knows your market and audience inside and out. Tailored solutions, real results, marketing that works.
Leighton and Gage. Find your focus.
KBRF presents Where to Eat, the culinary adventure, sponsored by Dandelion and Burdock and Service Food in Fergus Falls.
Hi, I'm Zach Daniels.
And I'm Dave Bishop, your guide to the region's culinary treasures.
Join us as we explore various restaurants, uncover delicious meals, and highlight each restaurant's signature dish.
Experience diverse cuisine types, unique atmospheres, and must-try dishes. Check it out on KBRFradio.com and the Fergus Now app.
New episodes air every first Friday of the month. Where to Eat, powered by Dandelion and Burdock and Service Food of Fergus Falls.
Whether you're doing dishes, tackling laundry duty, or getting those little humans clean, with an electric water heater, you're always saving money because electric water heaters are super efficient. And with rebates, bill credits, or low off-peak rates, you save even more. Otter Tail Power Company is here to help. Visit otpco.com/water heating.
Previously on the Under the Hood Show. When I was a kid, I had a chance to get a chemistry set.
I got
only
the
I'd have
chemistry
known.
set, and I started experimenting with the baking soda and the vinegar thing, and how cool that was. And, of course, I had to overdo it like I do everything. And I got it on a little bigger level, and I got in a lot of trouble, and we had to buy new carpet for the living room. It was not good.
You should listen to the Nordstrom's Under the Hood Show with the Motor Medics right here, KBRF, 1250 a.m., every Saturday at 10 a.m.
Even when a crop is insured through standard insurance options, it may not always be enough. A supplemental coverage option or enhanced coverage option can provide extra protection. SEO and ECO provide area-based coverage that could ensure yields as high as 95%. To find out if an SEO or ECO endorsement is right for you, contact the insurance team at Ag Country Farm Credit Services. Ag Country, focused on ag, focused on you. Ag Country is an equal opportunity lender and provider.
Markets this hour brought to you by Ag Country Farm Credit Services, a customer-owned cooperative.
Good morning. Market update on the Red River Farm Network. I'm Randy Conan. Grain markets continue to trade mixed here this morning, seeing corn and soybeans and Minneapolis wheat a little higher. The winter wheats are trading down a little bit here this morning. Country futures analyst Daryl Holliday says the soybean market continues to kind of chop around here.
Soybean market tends to have more trouble when the meal's down and the oil's up. And that makes sense because meal makes up, 70-75% of the value of soybeans, depending on values. But that's a good. So yesterday we had a big rally in oil off the bean oil number, off the crush number, which was, and the beans kind of struggled, or at time compared to corn and wheat. I guess this was well today oil's got trouble because there's more talk about we're not sure when that biodiesel will ever get the 45Z and that type of thing. So oil's right back down 70 cents, and that tends to be that supports meal because they sell one by the other. Everybody, a lot of arbitraging going on. So that.
And Holiday says the cattle market has more of a softer feel to it.
As a whole, in the cattle, we are feeling a little softer market out there in the live cattle. Beef has struggled. The packers have cut kills. They've cut slaughter, trying to support the beef, and they really weren't very successful. We saw it drop from 335 to 315, but it's February, and you got to allow for that, and the fact that it's been a tough February to move any product to some extent. When this weather in the eastern two-thirds of the United States is not conducive to a tremendous amount of meat movement. And
you're listening to the Red River Farm Network.
You're protected and appreciated. Irie Insurance.
Hi, this is Bethany Rentz, crop insurance agent with Irie Insurance. We've been protecting revenue and preserving equity for over 40 years. We provide a breakdown for farm programs such as the Farm Bill and Farm Safety Net. Partner with us to choose the right insurance coverage for your farm. Call us today to meet with an Irie Insurance agent to make your 2025 crop insurance elections prior to March 15th. Visit IrieINS.com. Irie Insurance is an equal opportunity provider.
Selling farmland can be a once-in-a-lifetime decision. This is Chris Griffin with Red River Land Company in Grand Forks. With decades of experience in farm real estate, our company and its founder, John Botsford, understand the agricultural landscape and are here to help guide you through the process from start to finish. We encourage you to visit redriverlandco.com to check out our listings and recent sales. If you have land to sell or manage or just want to discuss the land market, let's talk. Red River Land Company, your trusted name in farm real estate.
This is National FFA Week. FFA members are the leaders of tomorrow. Through FFA, students develop character, work ethic, and responsibility. Through agricultural education and hands-on learning, FFA members make a positive difference in our communities. FFA builds leaders, and leaders impact the future. Proceed, Nutrient, and the Red River Farm Network support the blue and gold during National FFA Week and all year long.
The Red River Farm Network is reporting on the happenings in Bismarck with the North Dakota Legislative Report. Each Friday morning at 6:37, you'll hear from lawmakers and ag leaders. This special coverage made possible by NDFB, Ag Country Farm Credit Services, North Dakota Grain Growers Association, Northern Pulse Growers Association, North Dakota Farmers Union, and the North Dakota Corn Growers Association. The North Dakota Legislative Report, Fridays on the Red River Farm Network.
March wheat, Minneapolis, penny and a half higher, 642.5. Chicago March wheat is down 6 3/4, 598. Kansas City March wheat's down 5 at 622.25. March corn is a penny higher at 503. December corn 1.5 higher at 479. March soybeans 7.5 higher, 1046. November soybeans 3 1/4 higher, 1061.25. In Winnipeg, March canola, $4.20 a metric ton higher, $666.40 Canadian. April live cattle, 52 cents higher, $194.55. March feeder cattle down 52 cents at $269.20. April lean hogs are down $1.92 at $91.27. This is the Red River Farm Network.
We know it's cold outside, but summer is closer than you think. It's time to start planning for that new shop you're building this summer. Don't forget about the most crucial detail, the garage door. Make it easy and give Easy Open Garage Door a call at 770-DOOR.
I'm Derek Sidian with KBRFradio.com News. Join me live every Friday on KBRFradio.com or the Fergus Now app for the weekly news recap, where I recap this week's hottest local news and you catch up on what you might have missed. The live stream starts at 12:30 and will be available to watch after the stream ends. The KBRFradio.com weekly news recap is brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonememorial.com, memorials that matter.
Food lovers, get ready for a February of fresh inspiration for the kitchen. We've got the deets on crowd-pleasing eats for football fans. For Valentine's Day, create love at first bite when you set the mood with creative charcuterie boards. And as long as the cold is here to stay for a few more weeks, we'll tell you how to level up your hot chocolate game with cozy, over-the-top winter indulgence. Find recipes, tips, and more at Unveiled Local, your go-to source for delicious ideas. Visit unveiledlocal.com today.
News Talk 1250 KBRF. Listen anytime, any place with the Fergus Now app. Checking the forecast. Extreme cold warning in effect here until 10 o'clock. We're slowly but surely climbing out of the cellar. 2 below for today's high, 16 below for tonight's low, 5 above Thursday, 20 below Friday, Saturday up around 32 below. Sunday highs hitting 40. We'll see 40 on Monday as well, and 39 on Tuesday. Right now, Fergus Falls, 15 below, winds on the northwest at 10. Dropping that wind chill down to 35 below. It's 9:36. Morning Talk brought to you this morning and every morning by our friends over at Pioneer Care and at Fergus Falls Monument.
All right. Back with, I introduced them earlier as the roadie crew, but they have a couple of guests with them today, too. So we're happy to have Diane Rohde-Zarke and Mickey Rohde with us to talk about the Mike Rohde Spirit Scholarship. We do it every year, and I'm going to allow them to introduce their guests. But Mickey, let's just start with you. This is a scholarship that's been going on for a number of years. I know you guys as a family are so proud of it.
Yep.
And these guys you brought with them with you today are pretty proud of it, I think, too, as they have been on board since day one. So
exactly. Yes, we appreciate you having us here today, and it is always fun to talk about the Mike Rohde Spirit Scholarship, which was started basically after my dad passed away in 2000. My dad was 51 years old when he passed away of a hereditary heart situation, and Todd Lockaby, who was part of Sertoma at the time, along with a bunch of my dad's friends. Todd came up with the idea and said we should really do a scholarship in Mike's name, and so that's where the Mike Rohde Spirit Scholarship Award started, and we're very happy to say that this is the 24th annual.
That's great.
Yeah. And Diane, why don't you give them the two numbers that we're very proud of how many we've done and the amount of money that we've done.
We have given away 57 scholarships through the years for $85,500.
Wow, that's great.
Correct. And we started back, the first year, like I said, my dad died in 2000. Our first award was in 2002. And for a number of years, we gave away one, and it's always been $1,500. Last year, we did 6 recipients, and again, at $1,500 apiece. And I'm very honored and happy to say that we have increased that number for this year, and we are going to do scholarships of $2,000.
Wow, that's great. Okay, so here's my favorite part of this scholarship is that your dad was not even a high school graduate, and
Correct.
This isn't a scholarship for the kids who are top of their class academically.
Correct. Mike, at a very young age, had some difficulties in his life. One, he shot his eye out with a BB gun, so he lived his life with one eye. So that's kind of a unique trait of my dad. And his father passed away at a very young age also. And so Mike was kind of forced to drop out of school to work on the farm for an income. And so, he went back. At one point, got his GED. So to be able to do these scholarships in honor of somebody that didn't graduate.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
So Diane, this scholarship is really for that student, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be a high school student, right?
No, they can be in college also.
But doesn't necessarily go to the kid who's, top of the class, not the valedictorian.
No, that's right. Actually, we aren't looking for that valedictorian. We are looking for the urge to succeed and help the community down the road in their life and that type of thing.
Yeah. And I know that you look at the things that they maybe volunteer for.
Yes, volunteerism is a big part of it.
Spirit, I think, really says it. Because you want these kids, I'm going to say kids, because even if they're in college, in my head, they're still kids. But you want these kids to have, some gumption, some spirit, because, boy, that really described your dad.
Well, I think that's a good transition to our guests.
Yes.
Two of Mike's really good friends from back in the day. Paul Tisver is here with us today, and Wally Stamas. And so they've been part of this group, the Mike Rohde Spirit Scholarship Committee, since day one. In addition to these two gentlemen and Diane and I, the committee also is my sister, Robin Rohde Keller, my son, Ethan Rohde, and then we also have Mike Byer, Scott DeMartelaire, David Kriesel-Kroll, Chris Swanson, and that is the committee that basically looks at all the applications and then chooses from there.
Okay.
The other thing we've done every year, too, is we don't have a set number of scholarships that we say we're going to do. We leave it open because we have had years where we've looked at the apps and this group sits down and we say, it's these 3 people, and literally everybody has agreed it's those 3 people. And we've had other years where, it's 3 plus then a couple like the, number 4 and a few others like number 5. And we just, as a group, we've been very financially successful that with our investments and with the group's money that we can say, let's just do all 5.
Okay.
So
wow,
that's
great.
Fun.
Well, Paul, let's start with you. So I'm going to have you just get that mic over a little closer to you.
Okay.
I know you're super excited about live radio. But anyway, I know that both Diane and Mickey are so grateful for the friendship that you had with Mike, and I know you are too, because he was a great guy.
Yeah.
But how fun for you to look back over these 24 years and know what you guys have accomplished as a group.
Time goes fast.
It sure does.
Doesn't seem like that long ago we were telling jokes with Mike.
Yeah.
But anyway, we are really proud that we are able to pick students. We hope to pick one with need, besides just the spirit. But a lot of the people that we pick wouldn't qualify for the typical scholarship, because a lot of them are all on academia, and we have that being secondary.
Well, but don't you find when you give these scholarships to the recipients that they are unbelievably grateful, because they probably wouldn't have, gotten another scholarship.
It's certainly, but we do pick some pretty smart people too. It's not like it's not like they're all in the bottom of the class, but we have a little bit different way of judging them.
Yeah, absolutely. And there have been some incredible students. Wally, I know you've been part of this too since day one. And as you look back, there's got to be pride in what you've done and how it's moved forward, able to give more money and maybe have more recipients. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and a lot of the kids, we get to see their story. So as part of the scholarship, they actually write up a narrative of their background, their story, why they want the scholarship, and we're looking for diamonds in the rough.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it.
Yeah, and a lot of these kids that we choose have had difficult life stories, just like Mike. And maybe they've got a parent that's gone, or they grew up where they had some kind of a hardship or a disease or something else going on in their lives, but yet they struggled and they have succeeded in some ways, but they're not at the top of the class because of the struggles they've had to overcome. So we really enjoy being able to select those stories, if you will, those people who have the potential to really blossom as they grow older. And we've seen some of them blossom as well. And so we're pretty excited about giving this and continuing to grow with this year and into the future. And we're always looking at, is this person somewhat similar to who Mike was, who had maybe a difficult story but succeeded beyond anyone's expectations. So that's what we're always looking for.
And I know both of you guys have probably a million stories you can tell about Mike. Some are airworthy and others perhaps are not. But I can't tell you how many times I had Mike sitting at this table with me too, interviewing him about the upcoming Sertoma Ice Fishing Derby.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he would come in here with the craziest get up. And so I have a lot of fond memories of Mike just sitting around this table.
Yep.
And I know you guys do too. And that's part of what makes this so special.
Yeah, and he was a key organizer for the Sertoma Club here in Fergus Falls. And so many years he recruited most of us. He recruited me. And when I was on the road a number of years and hardly was able to attend many meetings, and I know he worked very hard to say, what can we do to keep you in the club? Somehow keep you going with the organization. So once I was able to settle down a little bit, didn't have the travel and could attend regular meetings, then, was be able to be active again. And Mike, whenever he did anything, it was always fun. It was just, it was hilarious. And I happen to know Mike also as part of our card club. And it was like stand-up comedy.
Oh, for sure.
You could have an evening with Mike and a few of the others in the club. And I know I'd get back and home in the evening and my stomach would be sore from laughing so hard.
It's too bad we didn't have video streaming in those days. We could have seen, people could have seen all those get-ups.
He would have got himself in trouble, Mary.
Yeah, maybe.
Social media back when Mike
Very
Rohde had it.
possible.
Yes, he would have. That'd have been. He'd have been not good. But
all right.
and I think the two things to kind of stress for someone to apply. One is they just have to be a resident in Otter Tail County.
Okay.
So it is, if you're listening to this and you think, oh, my grandson who, attends Underwood. Yes. If they attend a school in Otter Tail County.
Public or private.
Correct. Public or private. And or if they are a resident of Otter Tail County and can be attending college. But again, resident of Ottertail County. And here's kind of, Wally alluded to this, but here's the questions that we ask on the application. So
Okay.
just kind of give you an idea of, we're a little bit different. We ask them, why are they pursuing a higher education? Why do they feel helping others in the community service is important? We ask them to describe their most memorable experience while service to others. We ask what inspires them. Do they have any special financial needs? And then why should you be selected? So we kind of leave it open-ended, give us your story.
Boy, Paul, I bet you've read some pretty amazing stories over the time that you've been going through those applications too.
There's definitely a lot of people that have needs, and a lot of people that have grown up in a family that wasn't like mine. I was lucky,
Right.
But not everybody had two parents. Not everybody had a nice house to live in, and there's more now than there was when we were growing up. I think there's just a lot of people that have a lot of struggles.
Yeah. And I love the question about what inspires you. I bet there have to be some fabulous answers there.
Yeah,
there has been, yes.
It's for sure. We're happy to. It's a privilege to get these applications and to give the scholarships. But it's really fun to get together and pick the right recipients.
Yeah, I'm sure. And you guys do a great job, too, at getting together with those recipients. You always do a lunch, right?
Correct. So we kind of do two things. We always invite the winners and their parents and guests, etc., to our Sertoma noon meeting, which is held at Mabel Murphy's. And we have a wonderful presentation and give them the check and a beautiful plaque that's theirs to keep. And then we also attend each of the schools generally that we work with, have a banquet or an awards night, et cetera. And so we try to have a couple of us attend those just to kind of, again, honor them, but yet it's good PR for us because this might surprise you, Mary. In Ottertail County last year, all the high schools and then a couple of college applications that we got, we only received 29 applications.
That should seem shocking, but I'm hearing that from people at high schools that deal with this kind of thing more and more. That it's just like pulling teeth to get these kids to fill out a scholarship application.
So if you are out there listening to this and you have a neighbor kid, you have a grandkid, you have a friend at church, their son or daughter is a senior this year, encourage them to apply. And they can get the applications from their school counselors. Our deadline is March 12th, so we still have plenty of time. That's why it's always nice to come here and talk to you today. So yes, we just want as many applicants as we can get. And again, we're talking about hopefully giving away 5 or 6 of these at $2,000 a piece. And, we're excited to give them away. So we want as many applications as we can get.
Absolutely. So, and Diane, you were talking before we went on the air about your daughter, Robin, who of course is very instrumental in all of this too. She's kind of planning some things going forward, which I think are really cool.
Yes, she is. She has started, it's going to be a newsletter, and the first one is going to showcase our first winner, Leah Johnson, and then she'll go on from there. And the object is really to do a small fundraiser starting this year and maybe to continue and keep the scholarships going, and so we can give as many as we can. And I'd just like to say and thank everybody that has always given through the years to our cause, because like Mickey said, Mike died in 2000. It's 25 years this year, and our family is going to plan some kind of a celebration of his life. That doesn't, pertain to the scholarship, but I'm really proud that these scholarships have gone on all these years.
Absolutely. And how much fun it will be to follow up with some of these kids that have received these scholarships, we were talking, and we talk about it every year, but I have a grandson, Zeke, who was a recipient, and it was a pretty big deal for him because school did not come easy for him. And the fact that somebody thought that he probably had the guts and the stamina to go forward and do something big, which of course we think he will. But I think that was such an encouragement to him because he probably didn't get too many other scholarships, if any. I'm not even sure, but I know it was a big deal for him.
Yeah.
And he had the ambition to get that application in.
Yeah. Yep. And so really that's all it takes. It's pretty easy, just a handful of questions that you have to give some thought to. And we all know that a high school kid probably has to have some encouragement from mom, dad, grandma, neighbor, somebody to say, maybe even go get that application and get it in their hands. Because we know kids are doing other things. And when you're a senior in high school, it feels like all those other things are more important than applying for a scholarship. So even if you have to be the one who pushes them to get the, words on paper, do it.
Correct. And I mean, I think a great example of this scholarship is a number of years ago at one of the smaller schools in Otter Tail County. There, I think, was 41 graduating seniors, and our winner was the 41st in GPA.
Okay.
Right? So he was at the bottom, didn't get any other awards, but got ours.
Yeah. Well, and I can't close this show without thinking about Mike and what he's thinking as he's watching this go on, and be so proud of you guys that you put this thing together and are having a good time with it, because he would absolutely make sure, and that would be a prerequisite for him, is that you guys had a blast doing this.
Yeah, he's keeping an eye on us.
I know. I think he is.
Just one, though.
Just one.
And I'll have to tell you a little story about Paul over here. Being Mike's friend, and when Mike died, Paul told me one day, he said, I go out to Mike's grave and I talk to him. So that can kind of tell you what kind of guy Mike was.
Yep, these are good friends for sure.
Yes, and Wally too. Sticking with us all these years on the board, 25 years. I mean, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So thank you too.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's always fun to do this. It's one of those bittersweet kinds of fun because we all miss Mike, but it really is fun to think about him and what a hoot he was. I loved every single time he came into this studio with me and sat at that microphone.
You should have lived with him, Mary.
Oh, maybe a radio show was enough. No, it was. He was one of a kind for sure. But anyway, it is the Mike Rohde Spirit Scholarship, as Mickey mentioned. Those applications are at every high school. So just go to the counselor's office, ask for that. Mom, dad, grandma, neighbor, go grab a couple of those and give them to some kids that you know.
Or they can sure call our office, Rohde Insurance, or call us 739-3295, and we'll certainly send out an application.
Okay, good to know, especially if you're listening from a different community.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And the great thing is that now this show is archived, streaming, so people can watch it more than once. So if they would like the details, if somebody missed out, tell them to go to our website and they'll be able to watch the show, get the details, and make sure that you have plenty of recipients to choose from this year and for coming years, right?
That's right.
Yes.
All right.
And thank you, Mary, for
Oh my
having
gosh.
us.
I look forward to this one every single year. So thanks you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that'll wrap things up on a Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. Our show today and every day is brought to us by Pioneer Care and by Fergus Falls Monument Company. Have a great Wednesday.